Now, one thing I'm always curious to ask with people is, especially when people are just starting out and starting to monetize, do you think that they should even charge just a little bit and not just do an exchange for product? I've heard varying opinions on this. I think personally you should ask at least a little bit just to set that precedent and not do it for just an exchange of product. And I'm curious to see what you think about that.
I would say I'm trying to remember if I ever did it. I mean, I'm sure I have done some things in exchange for product. I'm trying to think like what I feel like in the same way that I said with the Cheerios thing when I did that post for $25. Like I feel like getting that experience for how to write about a company, seeing how your readers respond, like getting them used to seeing those kind of recommendations. I feel like that's a valuable thing for somebody starting out. I wouldn't necessarily like turn that away, like when you're first starting. I would say now I would unless it's like I'm sure there are exceptions somewhere, but for the most part, like I have I'm not like taking a free product in exchange for a post. Like I feel like, and I think that like people who have a big following should kind of like have that same. I think it's helpful if like across like the industry or whatever that people have those same kind of rules, so that like it doesn't seem crazy when someone's like, what? Like they're not going to take this for a post, and it's interesting because it's like I remember there's like as just one example. Because it's work. It's a lot of work. And people think like, oh, I'm giving you a free thing. It's like, yeah, but then I have to like photograph that, post about it, write a caption. Like, it's not that simple. And I would say the craziest thing that I ever turned down that was offered to me for free was a trip to Hawaii.
Wow, okay.
It was 4 days, I want to say. And we're in New York. So obviously that's like 2 full travel days with kids to a different time zone. And when they first told me about it, I was like, that sounds amazing. And then I'm like, but it was also, of course they're expecting a lot for that in return. And the travel stuff, and I've done a lot of travel stuff recently, and it's a lot of work. And while you're doing it, and plus the travel locations are getting so much more than what they pay for because you're there and you're putting it on your Instagram story and you're Snapchatting and all that stuff the whole time. So it's like they might say like, oh, we want 2 Instagrams for exchange for this, but they're going to get so much more than that.
For sure.
And it's a ton of work. You're not doing any other work really while you're there. And it's also like, if I'm somewhere with my family on vacation and I'm also like every night, like, posting all this stuff, like that takes you out of, the experience with your family. I love it, but it's not, it's not something that I think should be done for just an exchange.
Yeah. So to put into context, like how much work goes into just one sponsored post, for example, like all the way from creating the content to writing the caption and hitting post?
I mean, I guess it depends what it is. So like some things might just be like an Instagram photo and some things might be like a longer form blog post. I definitely feel like with like blog posts to me are definitely, that's a lot harder than, it's a lot more work than just posting an Instagram with a caption. But it also like depends on what they're asking for. Like I actually find the easiest things are if it just involves me, is like, my Allie will take the photo and, it's just like me with a product or whatever. I mean, it has to be done in a way. I'm not one of those people who does a lot of just like me, like with like a skin cream, you see a ton of that stuff. I'm not like, I don't have the face for that where I could just be like, look at my beautiful face and here's my skin cream. Like there has to be a little bit more to it for me. But I think when it comes to like doing something with my kids, like that's going to be more work. I have to figure out times when they're free to do it, when it's light out, where it's going to be, how I'm going to make this interesting for them. It's not going to be like just that, like they're going to be who they are, so it's like, which is, that's what I want to capture, but it's not like I can take the same photo, like, 20 times until I think it's right. They're not going to do that. So to me, it's like, if it's with the kids, that makes it a little bit, that's more work.
Yeah.
But, and then some things are like, multiple deliverables. I think, videos to us, I think that's the most time consuming.
Absolutely.
And then there's all levels of like what a video can be now. It can be like a 15-second joke, that's filmed on your iPhone, or it could be like more of a full-on production.